Hello, we are Team Dancing Monkeys, and this is our game, Another Day, Another Dollar.
On our main menu scene, you can see that we have two buttons on the screen using casual workplace terminology to invest you more in the theme of the game. The clock in button actually starts the main game scene itself, while the clock out quits the application.
As you can see, when the game is running, you have the little character down the bottom. This is the player character. He can move freely left and right, up and down. He moves at a set speed and fires tiny little paper clips as projectiles.
For the enemies, we've set them so they run left and right depending on when they hit the boundary of the screen, and they shoot their own projectiles, which are created from their game objects.
The next thing you'd notice is the HP and the score. The health you have will go down every time you get hit. There's little red hearts that you can pick up off the floor, which will give you another health point. And then the scoring as well. Every time you get hit, you'll decrease your score by 50. And then every time you get a kill, it will go up by 100. The score can go into the minuses if you are hit too many times without getting a kill as well.
As you can see, roughly at the end of the level, we have a boss that is just a regular instance of all of the other goons, but made larger, and with their own set of HP and damage variables. For the scripts themselves attached to the main camera, we have the camera scroll script, which makes the vertical scrolling happen at a locked speed that we can change, and a quit game script attached to the camera as well, so that the game can be exited at any time while playing.
As you can see on the right side of the screen here for the player, there is a player controller script. This allows the player to move in different directions. W, S, and D are what controls these. We have his speed set, so you can change this in the debug. We did this so we can find the perfect speed. We then have the player fire script. This script is in control of making the bullet from the player's gun spawn and move towards the enemies with a collider on it. We then also have the player hit. Oh, I also forgot to say the fire delay time is the fire rate for the player's gun. This determines how many times the player can when the player is shot once, how long there'll be between his next shot that he's able to do. There is then also the player hit script. This is the one that controls his health. We've also set this so we can change it in whole numbers. This was good for debunking as well.
Here we've created a health pickup prefab that can be created on a 15% chance. Every time an enemy is destroyed, it will drop where the enemy was, and the health pickup script allows it so that when it collides with the player, it increases the health value of the player, so the player will heal from any damage they've taken up to their max hit points.
The next thing on our hierarchy would be the UI canvas. This is the health and score. These can detect when the player has been hit or the player has got a kill, and will change in relation to what the player has done. Be it that you've been hit, you'll lose a bit of HP, and that'll go down from 5 to 4, or same with the score, and vice versa.
Here we have our goon game object, which is our basic type of enemy. The scripts they have are the goon controller, which allows the goon to move from left or to right depending on the border parameters that we've allowed them to travel within, and the speed, which we can also control from the Unity menu as well. And we have the goon fire, which is very much the same as the player fire, except it is done on a delay timer rather than on a button input, and alternate direction to the player fire as well. We also have the goon hit, which is when it detects a player bullet colliding with it. It will lower the goon health by a single point, allowing the player to damage the enemies.
The last scene in our hierarchy would be the goon boss. This is a copied instance of the regular goon here, but instead it will deal double the damage and has 25 hit points that you have to get through before it's killed. It can also move a little less and is slightly faster than the other goons. Next, we'll speak about the animation. The animations, each sprite has a different animation locked onto it. It will play this animation throughout its life, continuously on a loop. Same with the player, and same with all the goons as well. We also have animations for the bullets flying, which they will spin and whatnot, and for when the player shoots.
We also have prefabs to use if we want to instantiate an object into the scene. This means that it does not have to be loaded into the game scene itself to begin with, and rather we can load it in later on when it's needed.
And considering we have sprites, animations even, we have to have sprites. All the sprites are seen down here. There's the goons, there's Dave, there's the boss at the top, and the clock in and clock out buttons also have sprites as well. For the things that we'd like to change about the game, we would like to add in the sprites that we didn't get to use. We didn't get to put in our settings or the game over end screen. We couldn't get it to work properly, so we left it out for now. And the same with the play again button as well. We'd like to input those as well. Another change would be to have little icons for the health and the score. Maybe give them a little bit more personality instead of just being text on the screen.
For the feedback we received, we were informed that the hitboxes for both the goons and the player itself is a lot larger than it should be, as well as the projectiles from the enemies often becoming overwhelming, as there are too many projectiles allowed to be created at once, which we would definitely change in a future build. And also the camera scroll itself, it's seemingly too slow. If we decrease the difficulty of the enemies, we could increase it without overwhelming the player.
So that is our game, Another Day, Another Dollar. I'll do one final playthrough here now, and showcase as much as I can before I die. Thank you for listening.